we didn't hear anything, and then about 5 seconds later it was a really loud explosion sound, but I think it was just the impact sound traveling over time and getting to us. So I didn't see smoke, there's nothing like, it didn't look like anything but a plane just nose diving to the water.
Yes, it was nose down to the water. There's only a couple ways you can get an airplane to do that. Dan Greider, probable cause, actually DTSB today. Dan's Transportation Safety Board. You're going to hate me for this, and this video is only going to stay on the air a couple of days, most likely, because I'm going to take a tremendous amount of heat for it. But I'm going to tell you what happened out there and how those 10 people died. Our deepest respects and condolences to the families and friends of those lost on this accident. This is a senseless tragedy, and I'm going to tell you what happened. You're not going to like my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you anyway, and when I start taking some heat, I'll probably just take this video down, but this is it. You owe me 6 minutes to watch this. I did all the research. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The Coast Guard has suspended the search. Coast Guard ends search for the survivors. There are no survivors. This airplane hit crazy hard, broke apart. It's impossible to survive this crash. This thing from about 1,000 feet in the air went straight into the water, and there is no way to survive that. It was operated by Northwest Seaplanes, actually a good company. Again, a guy named Clyde started this. His son Shane is running it. From everything I can tell, good people, good operation, and very good customer service. They got good reviews on the web. They did a lot of fishing and hunting expeditions, things like that. If you ever had a chance to fly float planes out west, I have. It's totally fun. The beavers, the otters, all those airplanes that are flying, and the 185s and the things on floats, even the Super Cubs on floats are totally fun. We've done quite a bit of that in the past. I'm not a seaplane guy, but I sure like going along, especially when somebody else knows what they're doing. Lots and lots of fishing and expedition, adventure type stuff out west. It's beautiful. The air is clean. The people are awesome out there. You cannot beat that stuff. Here's a picture of the airplane right here that we're talking about. This is the float plane, and here's the door that you would have boarded. You board this airplane. This is a pilot plus 10, so it's a good airplane. It's converted to a turboprop, so it's got a Walters Dash 11, 750 shaft horsepower in this thing, so it can actually lift a heavy load. Does pretty good. It's a pretty good wing. Pretty good operation. There's 725 Tango Hotel. That's the actual airplane that crashed 48 hours ago. That's it. You can see the stack coming out of the side of that thing. That tells you it's a turbine, a turboprop with a big old Hartzell on the front of that thing, I do believe. Here's the sister ship to it, 703 Tango Hotel. That's serial number 456. The one from 2 days ago was serial number 466. Keep that in mind. The airplane was actually 725 Tango Hotel was owned by a guy named Hans Munich from Washington. But let's get into the actual sequence of events here. I'm going to go ahead and label these incidents just so you can tell incident number 1, 2, 3, and 4, because now there's 4 of them. There are 4 clear examples here. This is incident number 1, substantial damage and 8 injuries, and this is back from July 13, 1995, and I can read you. This is the NTSB report. Showed that there were cracks in the trailing edge. The director of maintenance reported that when the aircraft was parked, the tail was about 10 to 11 feet above the ground and would have been difficult to inspect. Well, you still got to inspect it. You're a saltwater operation. Saltwater and aluminum do not go good together. The National Transportation back then, they found that the probable cause of this accident to be the cracks in the trailing edge of the elevator servo tab. I don't know about you, but that's a big deal. You're talking about cracks, anything elevator, servo, or spar, anything that has pitch control needs to be 100% perfect back there. If it's not, you got to fix it. Here's what the NTSB found on that flight from 1995. Flight control elevator tab, cracked. Flight control elevator tab, failure. Flight control elevator tab, separation. This is from 1995. Let's go ahead and look at incident number 2 now. This is from May 30 of 2014. Substantial damage. 3 people on board, but they did not get hurt. They got lucky. The pilot reported during level cruise, he felt a vibration in the airplane that progressed such that the airplane exhibited a nose down pitch. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound very good. They examined the airplane and found damage to the elevator servo tab and spar structures inside the right elevator. Not good. This is not the accident airplane. This is a second one. This is a serial number 394, but they're all very similar. Exhibited fractures and buckling consistent with overload. Something going on back there in the tail of the airplane. Let's look at number 3 now. This is from just a few months ago, May 24, 2022. This airplane, 703 Tango Hotel, which is the sister ship to the accident airplane from 48 hours ago, This airplane is involved in a big deal. The pilot reported that during takeoff he had he had structural problems, and notice what I got circled in red here. The airplane seemed to pitch up, so he applied full nose down pitch trim and extended the flaps an additional 10 degrees. On short final, he applied full flaps, and the airplane abruptly pitched up to about 45-degree angle. That is not good. He stated that when he applied full nose down elevator, verified the pitch trim and reduced power to idle, then the airplane was about when the airplane was about 300 feet above the ground level, the airplane stalled. That is not good. You do not want to stall this thing at 300 feet. Broke slightly to the left and entered a 45-degree nose down dive. Are you kidding me? The 45-degree nose down dive sounds awful familiar here. After allowing the airplane to gain airspeed, he applied full back elevator, and he actually pulled it out at the very end. The airplane, look at the very bottom of this, the airplane consequently impacted a forested terrain near the approach end of runway 23 at an elevation of about 18 feet, which resulted in substantial damage to the fuselage, wings, empennage, and everybody on board. Everybody got hurt on this thing, but nobody got killed. Here's a picture of it where the airplane ended up. This is due to elevator, spar, structure, elevator trim tab, elevator servo, all that stuff, which was not structurally sound, and they were out there flying it anyway. Now let's look at the National Transportation Safety Board. This is not one of my favorite organizations. My friend Jennifer, she does ride a mean moped, but she's not much on airplanes. The National Transportation Safety Board is an independent federal accident investigation agency. They're supposed to be. Since its creation in 1967, the Safety Board's mission has been to determine the probable cause of transportation accidents and to formulate safety recommendations to improve aviation safety. Let's look at this. Formulate safety recommendations. It's their job to figure out and issue a recommendation so it doesn't happen again. This is now 4 times in a row. Let's look at and see if the NTSB actually did their job. Well, let's go back to incident number 1. Here's the deal from back in that time. Did they offer a safety recommendation? The answer is no. Here's incident number 2 from May 30 of 2014. Did they issue a safety recommendation? The answer is no. Here's number 3, May 24, 2022, just a few months ago. They investigated it, figured out all the structural problems. Did they issue a safety recommendation? No. Now, here's the people who were on board. In the left seat was Jonathan Winters. He's your pilot. I believe Luke Ludwig was in the right seat, which is perfectly legal. There's no controls over there. Here's a picture of the cockpit right here. Very nice airplane. Here's the aft picture of the airplane, what it looks like inside the actual airplane. In the seat right behind Jason was Patricia Hicks. Next to her was Sandra Williams. Behind them was a father and child. Ross Mickle with Ramey Mickle occupied the next seats. Lauren Hilty and Rebecca Ludwig were next. Joanne Mira and Gabrielle Hanna were the next ones. So this airplane had 10 people on board, which is perfectly legal. It was in CG. There's nothing wrong. Perfectly legal to do this way. Here's Jason Brent Winters' pilot certificate. Good guy, excellent pilot, excellent reviews, everything about it. Jason didn't do anything wrong. He just happened to not get lucky at the office today. This airplane fell apart, and that's all that happened on this thing. I'm pretty upset over this. This video is only going to stay on the air a couple days because I know my phone's going to ring. I'm going to get hammered. People hate me, and the lawyers are going to call me, tell me that I've already jumped to a probable cause. Well, you look at the data. I can tell you right now, this airplane hit the water so hard. Jason didn't do it. You lost your elevator, you lost your trim tab, you lost your servo, you lost something. You lost pitch control is all that's happened here. You're going to find the pieces on the ocean floor. I doubt you're going to be able to go back and figure it out, but I can tell you right now, this thing is a problem, and that's what happened. I got this thing at Airborne Animal Rescue. I would like to ask for your support. If you can support me $1 or $2 via any one of these Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle, it's super easy, and I appreciate it. I put about 30 hours worth of research. I had to actually go figure all this stuff out to tell you so that you could know what happened on this thing. The NTSB is going to take 3 years. They're not going to figure it out in the first 48 hours. I've already given you the data. You can send me a note and tell me you hate me and tell me whether or not you think I got this right or not. But this is what happened on this airplane out there in Washington 48 hours ago. I got to get out of here. For my tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel, Dan Grider, probable cause.